Yeah,
Recording him.
Yeah, Charles just reminded me to resume the recording. Okay, thank you, Charles. So for those of you watching the recording, we started the meeting 3 minutes ago and have approved the minutes. And I'm talking about the status of Wilmer Park. We're waiting for the final go-ahead from the state to sign the contract. And once the contract is signed, we're expecting construction to be completed in about 13 weeks, which would put it into January, weather permitting. If it's below 40, the rubber surface cannot be poured. Any questions about Wilmer?
Well, I do have a question. If it's really cold, maybe we want to consider having it done in the spring. I mean, if you want it done in the winter, I understand because we do have warm days, but if it's really, really cold, I don't know, I'll leave it up to you or the committee, but you know, when winter sets in.
Actually, it's going to be up to the town and the vendor.
Oh, okay.
We're not really involved.
Oh, okay. Well, then let them do it.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Wilmer and what else? Oh yeah, those special grant funds through the county. Case said the money's not on hand yet, so they're still waiting to receive that. So once they get that includes things like extending the rail trail out to whatever the name of that street is. And then some benches around the playground and a couple of chess tables. Oh, and the riverfront trail. I think those are the main components of the special grant funds. So we're still waiting on that as well. Any questions on those things?
Did you post that of all the pictures of all the parks? Was that your drawing?
Yeah, we're getting to that. That'll be number 5.
Okay, I just want to let you know, I might have to go shortly, but I don't want to let you know, that's great what you did there. It's awesome. It just spells out all the parks, really nicely done.
Thank you. Well, if you're in a hurry, we can, that's good to know. We won't linger. Carpenter Park, I'm a little surprised Harold isn't on the call. You know, we really need a replacement play set up there. Excuse me. But I don't want to do it before consulting the community. And I've asked Harold before to set up a meeting with the community association up there to assess, you know, exactly what it is they want. So I'll remind Harold we need to do that before we put in a specific request for the to the council. Any other ideas about that?
No, I think that's a good idea. I mean, I don't think anything should be done without talking to them, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I asked, you know, I'm not sure how many kids are up there. So, you know, we don't want to be, we don't want to.
There's a fair amount of kids that are up in that area.
There are?
Yeah, especially when they have gatherings and they have events there, a bunch of kids show up.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, I'm not saying tons of kids, but it'd be nice to have something up there, just something for them to do.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Harold about it. How about that? Or whatever.
Right.
You and I discussed this before, I think. So I'll talk to Harold.
Yeah, next time they have a community association meeting, you know,
Yeah.
we can talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, Ajax. The council did not approve what Frank and the Ajax committee and myself had been promoting about a 3-hoop basketball court. They weren't convinced that it was necessary, that it was needed. Bill Ingersoll weighed in and suggested moving the whole court over toward the salt shed, away from the businesses a bit, and to include facilities for toddlers. So the sketch that I sent around was just kind of trying to put the council's vision onto paper. But the issue is, what next? I've got a few vague ideas, but there is no money available. So the question is, what are the prospects of success of trying a private fundraising campaign?
Well, I think the neighbors, when they were at some of the meetings, they suggested it'd be a piece of cake to raise the money. That's what I remember them saying, but whatever. I think if the town wants to do it, I just want to see how long it sits there before anyone does anything about it. And I have a feeling that could just sit there for a while. But if they want to move the court to the left, the 3-point court, I think that's a good idea. It's going to be plenty of space for, a 3-on-3 or a 5-on-5. And if the town wants to utilize and find money for it, so be it. If the neighbors want to pay for it, like they suggested, the money would be easy to raise, they can pay for it. But at this point, I just want to sit back and just see what happens. We had a good plan to raise the money, and they didn't want it, so that's fine.
So was anything, I did not get the chance to see the meeting or anything else. Was there anything else said after their recommendation of what they wanted what their vision was of anything moving forward, or is that just something
who knows,
that we are, or Jim, you're just going to have to go back and then meet with them and see what ideas they have or what moving forward that the town is looking at, just so there's somewhat of an idea? Or, I mean, is it starting to do the applications for funding, and is that something that they want to look at, or is it just all coming back down and that's the only, that's what we have to figure out? I guess that's where it's kind of, for me, I'm like trying to figure out where,
right, it's back in our
what does a town really have moving forward, how they want to look at that? Because if it's partly private, partly getting funds or whatever else, I guess it's just trying to make sure we're not going one direction while they're wanting to go another, or anything else. I guess just trying to make sure all of those things. That would be my question right now. I just don't, because like I said, I also just missed that meeting, so I don't know where this was. Sorry, other than that there was a decision on what they wanted to do, and then moving forward with that. So
I have a question.
well, I offered that we would be looking at the options, looking to see how to move it forward. The next opportunity to apply for state funding, the application would be due next August. And, with the money available the following year. So I think that's the most likely scenario, unless we think it might be worth trying to do a fundraising campaign.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did Frank mention months ago that we weren't going to do anything with Ajax Park until after they finished Wilmer Park, just so that there wasn't a disruption of a playground while that one was under construction?
Yeah, we've said that all along.
So
that
what
was
is
brought up at the meeting. That was brought up at the meeting 2 weeks or a week ago, that they said nothing will happen until Wilmer Park is done.
Right, okay, so when is the timeline for the completion?
For Wilmer Park, looks
Yeah.
like probably January.
Thank you.
Obviously barring weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if we get the cold weather that they're expecting or calling for, who knows?
Jim, do you need me for any votes? Because I need to scoot.
well, we can't continue the meeting without a quorum, so
We
we'll
can?
have
Okay.
to. If there's any, is there anything else to say about Ajax at this point? I guess not. Okay, moving on to publicity. I keep hearing there's a need for a soccer field in Chestertown, but we already have one, the middle school. Are people not aware that we have a soccer field there?
I just think because no one uses it, I don't even know if there's even nets on those goals.
A lot of folks play at the Christian Academy. I've seen a lot of people playing soccer out there, so they might use that, different groups.
Okay,
But that's a school, I don't know about public. That's
So,
not-
but have we heard anything from YMCA of what they're planning on doing once they are up and running as far as their
Soccer.
just in general between baseball, soccer, or anything else? I mean,
The
I
last
assume they're
time-
not. I assume they're not going to compete with the county, but I just at the same time, I don't know. Has anybody heard or seen anything of what that is
They
or
are
not
going to
going to be?
compete with the county. The county has the free place out near the Wharton High School. They don't have a pool out there, but they have basketball courts, or they do have a pool. I'm sorry. It's in summertime, but the YMCA is definitely going to compete. I mean, I'm sure people that go out to that.
Well, I'm
place-
just saying if they don't have baseball fields, unless their town's going to
Yeah.
rent baseball fields out to them. I mean, I'm just saying I don't know where they can.
There's a
compete.
baseball
That's
field at the middle school.
well, I'm
was
just
put
saying
in
this is what
by-
I'm asking. Like, what are they planning? Has there been any? Have they said anything, or has anybody reached out to them to find out what they're looking at doing or not doing, or is there anything else? Because obviously, I'm assuming whatever the YMCA does, it's going to be in town. It's not
Yes.
going to be out of town.
the
So
most recent information I have is that YMCA is focused on their internal facility at the moment, and they haven't really decided what they're going to build outside. But I think we can assume there's going to be baseball and soccer. I don't know. But the suggestion was made that maybe we should do some sort of event to publicize what's available at the middle school. I mean, people may not be aware that the middle school is open to the community during non-school hours. Do we need to do something to publicize that?
You talk to the school board. You need to talk to one of them. Trish McGee would be the one to talk to there. So I can talk
But
to
I'm,
her.
I'm saying, do we need to promote it?
Yeah, I understand, but is it open to the public? They have
Yes.
school now. Last year was COVID.
It's
Anyone could use it.
non after school, those things that opens up
Mhm.
after school hours. That's open up for use.
There's supposedly a written agreement with the town over use of the recreation facilities, although I haven't seen it. But I'm told that, it's open to the community. I'm just, he's not. Well, anyway, something to think about. The brochure, if you have any comments, the cover of the brochure was still kind of, the flip side was still kind of rough. If you have additional suggestions for text to add to that, or revising the text on the map itself, I'll pass that to the town and they can finalize it and start handing it out. Okay.
Yep, sounds
Neely?
good.
Bailey Park. I'm just going to mention that we're Shore Rivers has a new tree steward program, and they're going to be planting about 10 new trees around the edges of Bailey Park. I guess just thinking about long-term general plan for Bailey Park, several people have talked about turning that entire open space area into a meadow with paths through it. And, you know, some benches and gazebo and that sort of thing. What do you guys think?
Well, one thing I think is that the tree, who's going to pick out the kind of trees they're going to plant there?
Shore Rivers.
Okay, will we be able to see their trees they're going to pick out beforehand? I mean, you know, they're going to plant, you know, who knows, cypress trees, and I don't know what they're going to plant there, but it would be nice to have something different than the same old like oak and maple and all that.
I was out there with them. In terms of benefit to the environment, you know, nothing is better than an oak.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking at the types of trees that are growing there now and which ones are doing well and which are not.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some elm trees. There's American elms and Chinese elms. American elms are not doing.
Well, they've all died. A lot of them have died anyhow.
Yeah, well, presumably, I mean,
they don't, yeah. Sycamore trees grow well, but they're everywhere too. So
yeah. I'll make sure we send that list around once
okay.
Shore Rivers has that finalized.
I know out at Wharton Park, they have a whole bunch of bald cypress out there that are really nice. As you drive in, there's a whole row of them around where the flags are, and as they get big, they just look beautiful, native to the area.
Okay, I'll
Just
pass
a
that
thought.
along.
I don't know, something different.
I'll pass that idea along.
When are they supposed to start doing the drainage work and everything, or is that still waiting to happen?
Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, Frank, the Shore Rivers is hoping to put in some not drainage, but you know, some stream restoration projects, both at the top and the bottom, north and south of Bailey Park. And it turns out most of the area, they're proposing to put it up in the north, you know, close to the dog park. A lot of that land is still owned by the hospital. And so Case was saying that it's kind of delicate negotiations going on right now. And he wants to make sure we don't upset the boat by talking about that too much.
How much land is the hospital owned out there?
Basically, all the way down to the dog park parking lot.
Yeah, well, I don't know a lot about the hospital. The one thing I do know is that whoever sold the hospital, that was a really bad mistake. It was done years ago. And I feel it was just a horrible mistake giving that hospital away. They could have moved. I'm sure the money could be raised, but now we're in the predicament we are. But at least we got it coming back. You know, someone's done something about that. But, you know, if they own the land, why do they need it? What do they want to sell it? I mean, I thought Marty Stetson, that dog park was all his and it was done.
Well, the dog park itself is on town land.
Okay.
But the area up, you know, uphill
Towards Heron Point?
from the dog park is still by the hospital.
You mean
So-
towards Heron Point?
Yeah,
That land below the dog park towards Heron Point?
no,
Or towards the road? Not a whole
towards
lot.
Morganic Road. From the dog park up to Morganic Road
Okay.
is the hospital. And that's the area that Shore Rivers wants to restore a stream. And their diagram is very pretty. I think didn't Owen Bailey share that with us last
You know,
summer?
Owen has some great ideas, so.
Yeah. And so I was out there the other day with Annie Richards, the river keeper, and she was saying that they hope to get grant funding from the Chesapeake Bay Trust to do a major engineering study. But they have to work out this land ownership issue first. And if they are able to do an engineering study, she's going to fold in park planning money. So we can do some,
Okay.
a nice, get some community input into what Bailey Park should look like.
So is Bailey Park from the dog park down to Heron Point, that's all
Right.
owned by the town?
That's all owned by the town.
Because years ago, there was a proposal to put like a soccer field in there and a baseball field
Right.
and all those kind of things.
Right.
So maybe that's a thought. But then you got the neighbors down there and they could complain, who knows? So, you know
Well,
what
I was
that's
getting ready to say, so they're waiting on, obviously, which none of us knew that the land negotiation was part of that. Regardless of what goes on the north side of that, does north side then have impact on the south side stream restoration, or are they two separate streams, or are they supposed to or are they supposed to connect or something like that? That's what
Yeah, they're actually two separate projects, but Annie Richards thinks that the ability to fund it would be improved if the two projects were connected.
No, that's fine. I just didn't know. Let's just say the hospital now decides, all right, we don't want to do this. Would they still look at trying to do the stream restoration on that south side? Because I mean, that south side is really where a lot of that mushy stuff on that, I mean, gets wet down there. So
yeah, they I think that's going to proceed. It sounds like Annie Richards wants to proceed with that, even if the north end
okay.
doesn't come through.
Well,
Again,
the thing about
Go ahead.
sorry, Jim. I was going to say the thing about the prairie land, or whatever you want to call it, with the flowers. I mean, the nice part about that is we've already, even by asking them, you know, what are if they decided that they could do something like that, or we wanted to do that for right now and put those paths in, how easy is it to knock down, or, you know, what is it? And obviously you said it was like 3 years, and not, you know, that stuff gets replanted every 3 years anyway. So it's not like it's anything else. And then if they wanted to come back and put soccer fields in or put something else in, it's not there's really not going to be a grumbling from anybody about if, you know, they put in, you know, the flowers for that and then decide, okay, the town 5 years from now, 6 years from now wants to do something out there, that it's not a big deal.
Good point.
I mean, other than that, it's just more of a beautification and something different to see, bring some, I'm assuming that would bring butterflies in and some other stuff down there other than the flies.
Yeah. And I talked to Case about putting up a sign on that road. I can't remember the name of the road, Shalber Road. Because nobody knows the dog park is there. Nobody knows about Bailey Park. I mean, a lot of people don't. Not that nobody does, but. Well, any other issues? We've gone through the agenda.
What's the name of your cat?
That's a dog.
Is it a dog? It's a cat, and it's not you with
It was going to say, my cat's called Pain in
Oh.
the Ass. No,
there he is right there. Look.
He's up in the one. That's Graham.
Graham.
Yeah. And then we've got Linda's dog,
This is Gidget.
Gidget.
What's your name?
Gidget.
Hey, Gidget. Hi.
Who's talking to me? Where's that coming from? I was gonna say, Jim, I got nothing.
I don't have
Okay,
anything else.
all right. Well, then anything else from Chip or Linda?
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Short and sweet. And we'll see you all next month, if not before.
Take care.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Oh,
good
wait
night,
a minute.
guys.
I'm supposed to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
Do
Motion to adjourn. Yes.
I get a second, Frank?
I got a second.
All right. Bye,
See ya.
guys.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you.